Hello friends! Welcome to Squared Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be doing a flip through of my completed After the Pen spreads here in my catch-all half-letter Discbound planner. I'll be showing you guys all of the things that were working and maybe that aren't working so well, things I might be changing up, as well as a little bit of the planner setup along with those After the Pen spreads. So if that sounds good, let's jump in. Alrighty, so first off, let's talk about my cover and my discs. So this is a DIY cover that I made last December, I believe, and it has been really fun to work in. But I will say one thing that I'm noticing is that some of the gold foiling that I was able to put on is starting to rub off in my high touch areas. So I don't know if that's something I want to, think about for the future, if I'm going to make another one. Somebody mentioned sealing the foil, and I haven't looked into that, but that might be some way to preserve that kind of high traffic area from getting damaged. But I mean, it's pretty minor, and the design of the cover really, I think, kind of camouflages it to some extent, but just something to keep in mind if you are going to be tackling this DIY project, which I do highly recommend, but may want to research a little bit about the foil sealing. I have it on Happy Planner expander discs in gold metal. I was going to go down into a 1.5 inch disc size, but decided to keep these expander rings, and I'm so glad that I did because it is now bursting from the seams with 2 months currently in this planner. I'll be taking out a month from each of the planner sections I'll be showing you today, but there is obviously like about a week or, there's a time frame where I will have quite a bit of extra pages in here. So I am going to be sticking with these expander rings just for the sake of, keeping it all together and not having it be exploding out in my hands. Okay, so that's just a little bit about this cover. I'm not sure if I mentioned this or showed this in a previous video, but I did end up adding in my library card in the smaller size. So this was a freebie I gave away a number of years ago, and it's still available. Just let me know in the comments if you would like the link to that video and then the free download. But I ended up putting it right on the cover with a matching cardstock pocket, which I really love the look of that. And I have my little library card reading log here for me to reference and fill out. This is the extent of the reading planning that I think I'm going to be doing, or reading journaling. It's just the right amount of commitment for me. As you guys know, I try to keep it simple because I do have a lot going on, and this has really served me very well. Okay, so now we're on to this first insert, which is another DIY that I made. This is a pocket folder, lemonade pocket folder and sticky dash. It has a flap pocket on the back, also has a large pocket here, which I'm actually using with some gold foiled vellum that I had in my stash as a background, which I'm really loving. I made one, which you'll see in the back on camera, which has a little bit of the cardstock actually sandwiched in between the laminate. This one allows you to kind of remove and replace whatever background you want, which was kind of fun. So I have that in there, and then I have my stickies here on the front. Again, there is a video, like I mentioned, showing you how to make this if this is something you think you need in your planner. I also have a few pages of micro, mini, nano dots, if you will, for my future log setup. I bought these specifically on Etsy, which I really like. However, the colors, I think I should have chose more of a very standard rainbow color, because it's really hard to differentiate these when using them for categories. So just something to keep in mind if you are trying something like that with that process. I will say that it is a little bit hard to distinguish the colors of the dots when they're on the page, when they're all kind of in this neutral tone. the rest of my planner is basically divided into 6 main sections, and I'm using this side tab system for those items. I have my inbox here at the front, and I have another kind of dashboard DIY that I did with a vellum overlay and a cardstock backer, both printed. Then we have my inbox system, which is a printable available in my shop. And this is based off the Getting Things Done method from David Allen. Although I have not been using it in the same specifications as it was built to be used, I've been using it for items that come in that I do not have a place to schedule them in immediately. Usually what you would do is you would put in all tasks, no matter what they are, first here, and then move them out of your inbox into their respective places. But I just find it a little bit tedious to write a task in here and then immediately write it into my planner. So this is more for things that I don't have a real time frame for, but I don't want to forget about. And that's what I've been using this insert for. So I have a couple of sheets of those in there. And then I also have a someday list, which is from that same printable set. And I'm using that for things that I may like to tackle, but it's not that important if I don't. So that is my inbox system currently, and pretty simple, straightforward. My next section is my goals section. And in here again, I have another vellum overlay with a cardstock backer. Then we get into my annual and quarterly goals, which are some inserts I made for 2026, and I did do a video on that if you want to see the whole process. But I have my goals, my vision board, my quarter 1 goals set up, and then I have the pages for my quarter 2, 3, and 4 goals ready to go. The next section is my productivity section, and again, vellum dashboard and cardstock backer. And here I am housing a insert that I'm planning to complete. So this is going to house my my morning routine eventually when I get around to making it. And then on the inside, I have my master schedule, which I haven't really did any decorating with, but I have set it up with the sticky notes as I like to do so that I can switch things around as my life changes, but still have a ideal schedule for the week if everything goes to plan, and I can use this as a guide when I'm setting up my time blocking for the week. So this is how I've set it up. I've got some really small sticky notes that I got from Daiso, which are really nice in this size planner, and I just kind of mapped it out. Also used some color coding to help me differentiate what I'm doing in what hours. And yeah, so this is a really great system. I have a video about master scheduling, routine building, all that stuff. So if you're interested in this, I do have a video kind of going into depth on how to break it down. And then not sure what I'm going to do on the back yet. Again, something I'll probably figure out as the year goes through. I have my cleaning schedule as well in here, and I just wiped it down from January. I made the decision to laminate this with matte laminating pouches, and honestly, I think that was a mistake. I used to have one in my classic size planner that I used just regular gloss lamination, and it worked really well for my use. I would use a Sharpie and write on it with that, and then clean it off with a little bit of alcohol every month, and it came off very smoothly. I just took about 10 minutes to try to clean this one up from the Sharpie that I used for January to fill this out, and it was really hard to get off. And I can see at certain angles there's actually some scratching where I think removed the matte layer that's on top of the plastic, so you can kind of see it's like extra shiny where I was really scrubbing to get the Sharpie off the insert. So I'm thinking I'm going to re-laminate this in just a regular gloss laminating pouch and call it a day. I was starting to try other things like a dry erase pen, see if that was any better, but it's still like, I don't know, whatever the coating is on the matte laminating sheets, it absorbs the ink a bit more, so it takes a lot of scrubbing power to get it off versus like a gloss where it just kind of like wipes away. Something to keep in mind, and a recommendation for the future: if you are going to do one of these, I would recommend not using a matte laminating pouch, but use a standard gloss laminating pouch. I do have a setup video though, if you just kind of want to see that process and more about that. But on the back I have my adulting log, and again I kind of wiped it down from the one thing I checked off, and it took a long time to get it off. So I will be relaminating this hopefully and then get that going for February. Next section is my schedule section. So this is where all of my schedule dated type stuff lives in my planner, which is divided up into a number of sections, or separate planners, if you will, within this section. So I've got, again, the dashboard I made, and then we get into the first part, which is my yearly planner. I'll be going through a couple of these tabs, but not everything, because my budget and other financial information is in here. But at the front, we've just got a plain year at a glance. This I'm not really using for anything, but I know it's up here in case I ever need to reference it. One thing I'll note right now, most of the inserts you're going to see in here, if not all, are going to be from my Etsy shop. I have a printable shop, and basically I'm using my own printables. So if there's anything you're interested in, check the description down below. I should have links to pretty much all the major sections that I'll be going through, and some of the accessories in this planner. And hopefully you can find what you're looking for, but if not, reach out to me in the comments and I will hook you up. So after that, I have my first tab here, which is my future log. And here's what I was mentioning with the small nano dots that I got specifically for this section. They do work great in this smaller format, but like I said, I should have picked a different color scheme. But I filled it all out with the items and things, and then I also have it color-coded of sorts for the different types of items, like holidays versus personal stuff, work stuff, birthdays, things like that. So it's all set up in here. This next section, the next three sections actually, I thought it was just going to be two, but the next three sections are going to stay hidden. But basically I have a perpetual calendar for a work schedule, which has all of the projects that I'm working on. I also have my yearly Etsy sales and another perpetual calendar. So I just write down my daily sales. And then also my budget planner, which is just like a bill pay monthly and a monthly expenses total like overview page. So that is the very first section in my schedule section, and I just kind of title that my year planner. The next planner section in here is my agenda planner, and it is a workhorse in my system. Basically, it houses all of the things, and so I started off with a monthly view. All of the monthly based pages in this section are in the same theme, so everything will look the same going for those pages. I do a setup video if you're interested on any of the decor in this section. I have that all listed down below in the video description of the setup. So basically I have some holidays listed in here, any appointments or things where I needed to meet up with people, and then also anything kind of important like us moving again, which was just a saga. January didn't quite go to plan, but should be nice and settled now, and hopefully February will help me get back on track. That said, my monthly goals also took a hit for January because of all the unexpected adulting I needed to do. So a lot of the things that I had set out to use my free time for to progress and develop myself and my business just didn't really happen. So I've pretty much copied these exact same goals into February, and I'm going to try to make some progress in February to make that happen. But this is how my monthly goals came out, and again, that same monthly theme. I don't believe I did a January monthly goal setup, but I just did February, and like I said, the goals are very similar. So if you just want to see the process and how I use these pages in order to help me really incorporate my goals into my planner system, do check that out. So now we're on to the weeklies, and the weeklies I do individually every week just to keep things fun and interesting. I am using the hourly dashboard lined layout from my shop, which I really love because we've got a time blocking section over here with all the days of the week, and we also have another weekly view, which is more used for tasks and appointments. So I just like having these both side by side so I can kind of see what I should be doing and when, and then check things off to get that satisfaction that I'm getting things done. So I did a New Year's Eve theme for the first week here, and yeah, it was on Thursday. Liked this one a lot. I liked the theme and the color scheme. I did decide to use a gold acrylic paint pen for these pages, and that was a little bit different. Trying to work it in over here was tried some new things, let's say. I tried these like circles instead of trying to highlight the full word, and open circles for break times. That kind of worked. It was something different, and I enjoyed that. Next, we have the following week, and for this week, I decided to kind of go with cool tones, a little bit of a winter theme, but not really, just more of a kind of calming spread, which is something that I definitely needed around this time of the month. Added in some color. I think these stickers are from the Happy Planner, washi tape from Plaything, and some others. 2 colors, so I pulled out 2 colors to match up, and really like how that turned out. Ooh, this one was probably my favorite of the month. I did a winter theme using some Plaything stickers. Mainly the color scheme is what really drew me to this. I loved the kind of, not quite like true blue, but it's got more of like a teal blue, icy blue tone with the warmer red tone, or even like a hot orange. So mixing those colors together I think really came out nice, and just the winter vibes overall I think were really fun. And I take that back, I think this one was my favorite for the month. I forgot about this one. I really loved the blue and the yellow tones together. Just gave me some like sunny vibes, but like a cool winter morning with the bright sun, you know what I mean? So this one was really fun, and I believe these stickers may have been from Plaything or yeah, I feel like these were from Plaything, and then the background stickers with the blue and the orange were from Journal Say, with some Happy Planner stickers floated in there, like here and here. But yeah, this one was really pretty. I really liked the color scheme on this one, and I think, yeah, this was my favorite. And then this was just the last week. Decided to do kind of like a dark academia theme. It was good. I really liked the stickers overall, but I think the darker colors were kind of, I don't know, not that energizing. I usually like to have a little bit of contrast in my spreads, specifically in my health planner, but it is fun to see a little bit more vibrancy in this planner as well when I get to it. So it was okay. It was good. And it was good for a winter theme, I thought. And I liked these stickers in particular. I do like these stickers a lot. So that was the last week. And then we have some more monthly pages. This page here is my monthly to-do list, which I actually grabbed from that Getting Things Done insert. I changed this up in February and went back to a monthly overview page, but it was just a plain to-do list here for this month. Check things off as I could, and then of course forwarded anything that I didn't get to. Over here we have my social media schedule. So this was all the things that I either posted or put up on YouTube as far as videos. I have a little ideas list going here, which I'm going to cover up because I think some of these ideas I may do in the future. And then I also have my Instagram Reels ideas, which I really don't like doing short form videos, so I was trying to help incentivize myself to do more short form and made a little list for myself there. And then we have my social media stats for the month. So I basically just take stock every day of what followers or subscribers are on social media, and then just do a comparison between the months, and have a little check off here too for anything that is social related that I need to do on a weekly basis. These pages are custom pages, by the way, so they're not available as is in my shop. I kind of customize them for myself. I can do custom layouts, so if that's something you really want, let me know and I will help you out with that. So that is my agenda planner, and I'm going to go ahead and leave that as is, even though it's ready to come out. February is already in there, along with the tabs to go to all of the pages that I need to address every day. Then we are on to the health section. So at the very front of my health section, I have my measurements tracker. So my body measurements are here. So we're going to skip that. I also put a few pages up front of my proposed workout schedule since I'm trying to get into a routine. So that's what's here. Then I'm going to go ahead and just skip over that for now. And that's just a temporary thing until I get used to my workout routine and schedule. Then we are into the health planner section for the month of January. And here's what I ended up doing. I don't do setup videos on this planner's pages as far as the monthly pages like I do the others, just because I throw things together real quick for this planner. So I just slapped on some washi tape and then grabbed out some small stickers from Happy Planner sticker book, an old one. I believe it's the Healthy Hero mini sticker book, and just added some color that way. I chose one color for my highlighter color for the month, and then I basically use this monthly overview to track my workouts. So whatever workouts I decided to do for the day, sometimes it's one time, sometimes it's more. And then I also track my total calories consumed as well as my protein most of the time. So that's basically what you're seeing here. I also track my weekly volume. Been trying to get into a lift plan once again. I was doing really well at the end of last year, and then it kind of just fell off the rails when I tweaked my back, and it just takes forever to heal these days. Whereas it used to take like a week to get back to normal, now it's like taking about a month. And so probably something I should look into, go to the doctor, find out more. But yeah, so that just derailed some of my progress, plus all the stress of moving. So it just didn't happen. And well, I think I did one lift day in the entire month, like solo lift, and not part of a class. And yeah, it was rough. It was a rough week or a rough month, but got through it. Yeah, and I did try to maintain my workouts as best as I could. Here we have my health overview section. So here I track some healthy habits that I want to keep up, like getting 10,000 steps, closing my Apple Watch rings, getting 100 grams of protein, and then trying to eat within 1,600 calories or less each day. I also had my lifting plan mapped out for the month, and it was a pretty simple plan, but it just really did not happen. So I'm a little disappointed that the month went so poorly, but starting fresh in February, looking forward to getting back into things. Over here, I have a step tracker. I use this just to kind of guide me to getting more steps every day. I list it out, and then I have my goal line here, so I'm always trying to cross that line whenever I can. I also added a note about my back here, just so that I would know why I may have not done as much as I could have for the month. So here's the first weekly, and I am using the line vertical layout from my shop for the weeklies here. Again, kind of went with a New Year's Eve color scheme, but a little bit less on the nose as far as New Year's Eve. I did have some like gold and black confetti and sparkle, of course gold and black throughout, and then I added in some black florals from the Happy Planner sticker book I think it's called Black Florals. And a quote, I think this one was from a Wellness Warrior sticker book from the Happy Planner. Basically, what I track on my weeklies is my stats. I also track the workouts that I did and stats related to that workout, like how long I did it and how many calories it says I burned. And then my food log for the day, so I can get an idea of how my health goals were going each day. And here's the next week. This one has a fun coffee theme. I really love coffee themes and kind of chaotic vibes. So this one was really fun, and I tracked all those same things. Again, back was out, so I did end up skipping a couple of workouts, but I think I was still trying my best this first week to get it done, or the second week. Oh, and I believe I did a setup video with this, like a play with me. But if I didn't and you're interested in these stickers, let me know and I can get you in the comments. Okay, so we have the next week. This one was pretty much all PET tape as far as the design I used. I just cut up this PET sticker tape that I got from Journal Say, and then added in some boxes. I think these are from a Happy Planner sticker book, maybe Dried Florals, I think is the name of it. And then, of course, my stats. I make my own stat stickers. I just do a master sheet and then print it out and cut them up and have my little weekly stat stickers ready to go. Ooh, this one was really nice. Oh, maybe this was the one I didn't plan with me. I don't remember now. So this one was a blue kind of window theme, kind of looking outside. I like blues in winter. I just feel like this color scheme works really well in winter month. And I live in Southern California, so it's not really like snowing or anything here. I mean, we just had an 80-something odd degree day. So the looking out the window and seeing kind of like the fresh water and grass and everything is on point for where I am. So I really liked how this turned out, and the colors were nice and vibrant. Even though they were darker, I really liked the vibrancy of the colors, and basically, again, just tracked all the same things. So I think overall, this one ended up being my favorite of the month for my health planner. This one had just, I don't know, the color scheme just came together really nicely, even though it was a bit more color than I normally would use on a spread. I like to limit it to a 2-color theme if I'm not doing something like a gradient or a rainbow. But the stickers that I used are from the Happy Planner. I think it's like their Nordic sticker book. And the larger stickers all had multiple colors in it that were these tones of kind of the tan tone with the like burnt orange tone and the softer green. So I felt like I needed to use all those colors to tie them all together, and did what I could with that, with the black as more of the accent color. But I really liked how it turned out in the end as far as the colors and just the intricacies and the detail in here. I really liked that a lot. So this was the final week. And then my last monthly page in here is this health overview, which is what I use to track whatever I'm taking, meds and supplements, and then a brief overview of my symptoms from my chronic illness every day, just to get a good picture of how I was doing and what was going on with me. So that is pretty much my health planner for January, and no complaints. I think I pretty much loved everything in that planner. No changes there for February. Have my tabs again here already ready to go for February. And then we're going to go ahead and skip to the back page. I have one more annual page that's in here at the very back, sharing the tab with the health tracker at the end. And on the front, I have my body weight. So I track my body weight daily, and I just list it out on a master sheet. And then here I have my health stats in a monthly view. And that is really helpful to just kind of get an idea of how close I am to meeting my goals on a monthly scale. And so I can compare and contrast the previous months, see if I did better or worse, and how close I'm getting to my goal line. So that's my health planner section. we have one more section that we'll be going through, which is my faith planner. And in here, I have a monthly view to start. A couple things to note too. I do theme out this entire planner, including the weekly pages, in one theme, and I do a setup video for it at the beginning of the month, or at the end of the previous month, so you can see it set up before I get into it. So this was the theme for January, and I really liked it a lot. It was very subtle, but just kind of, I don't know, it has more spring vibes, honestly, than it does winter vibes, but I really liked it because, winter can get kind of dreary, so this was a little bit of a pick-me-up as I got into this section every day. So I'm using the monthly for tracking my Bible reading every day as part of my reading of the Bible in a year plan. I basically just list them out, very simple, no fluff here, and that way I can just kind of see where I'm at and the progress that I've made. Then we have the faith overview thread. In this layout, I have a section for some habits to track, including my daily prayer, reading, lettering, and a gratitude. And that's been going pretty well. I also have my prayer list and my spiritual check-in each month with these prompts to just kind of see how the month is going on a spiritual level. For the weeklies, I am using a quadrant layout, and basically I take the verse of the day that is fed into the Bible app I use and try to interpret it a little bit through the lettering, if at all possible. Sometimes it's a little too vague and I just stick with varying the fonts and styles, but sometimes I'll try to doodle or add in extra things to really bring the verse meaning to life if I can. So what I did for this month was choose one of the colors, one of these three colors, each week as my highlight color, and then stick with the black either brush tip pen that I use, which is a Fudonosuke brush tip, or a fine liner pen. This first couple of days, I think I was using a little bit of a thicker fine liner, and then I went down to a thinner one for this size planner because I just felt like it was a little too heavy, the point of the pen for this size of planning. So I went down, and I think that worked out a lot better, just had a little bit more delicacy to it. Delicateness, I don't know what the word is there, but you know what I mean. Just felt a little more delicate and appropriate for this planner size. This week I decided to use the blue. Many times I will not use the entire verse when I am doing the setup in this planner in particular, just because it is a little bit smaller and doesn't really allow for a really lengthy verse to be written out stylistically. So sometimes I will just cut back and only do what I feel like encompasses the meaning of the verse or the main theme of the verse if need be. So that is how I approach it. And I do have a series about Bible lettering if you want to know like my approach to this part of my planner and how I, change up fonts and give you some ideas on how you could do something similar with your own planner. This week we went with the peach tones, and again, basically just peach and black. I did like keeping it with one color. It just kind of makes it a little bit simpler and easier on the eyes. So basically, if I didn't use the color over here, that's the color I used for the week. And I only ended up missing one day this month as far as lettering, and I thought that was pretty good considering everything that I had going on. But I really tried to prioritize this part of my planner. I was on the verge of getting rid of this section in my planner system, but decided to keep it at the last minute because I didn't want to have too many changes going into this new size planner, and I'm really glad that I did. This planner, I think, just really helps me take a break in the morning and refocus before I get into whatever the day has for me. So I really do appreciate having this section in my planner, even though it is a bit of a time commitment for me that I really don't have. But making the time for it, I think, is important, and I am glad that I have kept it going into 2026. And then for this last week here, we've got it again in the blue. I had made a mistake by stamping this little section here with yellow when I did the setup, but I just went with it and let it be. I also have 2 blue pens, which were very close. So occasionally you might see a blue that doesn't look the same as the other blues, and that's me pulling the wrong pen. So it just happened. Decided to keep the back page blank. I may use this for a written gratitude as the year progresses, but for now I'm just keeping it blank because I'm trying to simplify and not do too much. So that is my faith planner for January. Again, I have everything set up for February already inside, and we will jump to the monthly, which is this last little section here. It's kind of tagged on to the end of the faith planner because I had this extra tab here, and I use this for memory keeping. I basically just write in a memory every day so that I can keep track of life and just see what's going on from day to day without too much time commitment, like I said. So this has been really nice, and you can kind of see, I try to not get too descriptive. It's always a struggle for me. As time goes on, I always want to write more and more and more in here, so I'm trying to keep it minimal as best I can so that it's just really like a highlight from the day. I do a setup video on this, so I did set up this theme, and I also set up the currently that goes with it on the back in a video, usually about mid-month before the month begins. And then here I just track things like that I was watching or eating or reading, that kind of stuff, and any little highlights that really define the month. So that is my memory keeping section here, and I have it already set up for February. And last but not least, we have my reference section here. So in it, I have another dashboard. Oh, I'm sorry, this isn't my last section. This is my 5th section in the 6-tab section. And in here, I have, like I said, another dashboard. And then I have 4 tabs down here, which is my long-term storage tabs, which I'm still building out. But basically, I have a personal section, business, work, and social section for anything that I may need to reference frequently. And then at the back of that, I have my final section, which is my commonplace section. And I did have a separate commonplacing book previously that I set up, and I decided to move in all of the pages into this section. Someone suggested that I move the larger A5 paper that I started with to the back so that it could fit in this half letter but not be too distracting. And I'm okay with it. I think it would be better if it was actually half letter or cut down, but for the time being, I'm fine with it being A5 paper here in my half letter, kind of tucked in the back so it's not conflicting with any of my other tabs. So I have that in there, and basically it's the same as I had set up before, and I've been adding to it a little bit here and there when I have the time. I think we have, oh yeah, that's still, yeah, so I have behind that one other DIY folder that I made. So this is the one I made on camera with the cardstock actually sandwiched in between the laminate, and I also use matte laminate for this. So this is a sticky dash front, and then I have on the back a pocket with a larger pocket here at the back, which I'm using to hold my commonplacing stickers, which I can't get out from this angle, but basically that's what's in there. And it fits perfectly actually for like a classic size sheet, the classic size sticker sheet, I should say. Some extra paper that I basically just cut down from classic size note paper, and my back cover. Like I said, it's really tight, but I'll move out those extra months and get this back down to normal. However, that should do it for us, friends. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch, and think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye!